Hi everyone, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 10th of July, 2019. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the Phantasmagoric Theatre Tarot for this reading. Let's have a look at what the cards we need to be aware of. Alright, so we have Strength, the Eight of Swords in reverse, and the World. The Eight of Swords is, being clueless and being surrounded by potential negative circumstances, but that's in reverse. So we'll look at that in a moment. The first card is Strength. It's the eighth card of the major arcana. And it's the ability to soothe yourself, so to master your own mind, to have the strength to master your own inner demons, so discipline, not wanting to study or to be productive or to learn when you have to. It's able to express yourself, and the North Node here in astrology represents having the strength to achieve your life mission, your soul purpose. We've got the sun here. The sun is the center of our solar system. It's the most important thing. It gives you power. It gives you a sense of fulfillment and enlightenment and passion and purpose. And we've got this heart here as well. This person is fully alive, fully living their life mission, really awake in the process of being a human being, wearing their little crown. They realize that they are something special. You are something special. You're someone special. You love your life. You're able to use your mind and your creative talents to get to where you want to go. So you're able to use your skills. You can use your physical energy to achieve the things that you want to achieve. You can be happy. We've got all this orange here. You're in control of the day. And even if things seem strange and fantastic, you're able to bring normality to a situation and really take control of it, take charge of it, and you have the ability to overcome obstacles in your life that prevent you from being yourself. So inner negativity, outer negativity, you're able to thrive despite any of that going on. Because in the real world, there are very few days where everything is just hunky-dory peachy. And you've got to choose to be productive and happy within every day so that you can be successful and happy. It's not just going to be handed to you. You kind of have to work at it a little bit. The next card in reverse kind of echoes that. And when the card is this way around, it says that you don't know what's going on. Internally, you have negative thoughts coming your way. Puzzle pieces that seem to make sense, but it's just one puzzle piece out of many. You don't know where to put it, what it's going to do. So you have funny ideas, negative thoughts like I'm lost. Things don't mean anything. Anything I work on isn't going to make a difference. And then the endless loop we have, that we all have, hours and hours and hours and hours of tape of other people telling us, you're not good enough, you're never going to amount to anything, you don't have what it takes. And the Eight of Swords is usually a woman who's bound and who's blindfolded and who's surrounded by swords, and there are kind of puddles around her. So she is listening to negative ideas and thinking, which limits her vision, and she doesn't use her feeling and her intuitive abilities or the ability to get in touch with her own strength and to remember that she's in control of what she thinks rather than her mind being in control of what's going on. Because you can, through discipline and meditation, you can guide your mind in a direction where you say, actually, no, I'm not going to let myself criticize myself, and I'm not hearing that. Stop. So when the thought comes in, oh, you don't look good, you're not pretty enough. No, actually, I am not listening to that. I'm not going to criticize myself. I'm happy with the way I look. I look great. I'm wonderful. I'm replacing that with a positive affirmation. And through discipline, you can really control your thoughts. And when you control your thoughts, you manifest the world that you live in. Okay? So what this card is saying in reverse is that you're not clueless. You're not listening to negative thoughts and energy, and you're not just some helpless victim who's sitting there, in a fetal position, cowering and having to listen to all of this negativity. You have the strength to choose what you think and what you choose to listen to. If you're sitting in a restaurant with someone across the table from someone you're on a date with, and they're telling you how annoying everything is and how much they hate police officers, for example, and you happen to be a police officer, but you haven't got there yet in the conversation, you can say, excuse me, but I actually work as a police officer. This date is now over, and you can talk rubbish by yourself. Goodbye. Here's my part of the check, and I'm leaving. And you can do that with other people, but you can also do that to yourself. So when your mind goes off on one again, and this is a matter of practice, seriously, if I can talk about this topic, then anyone can do it, because I went through 29 years of self-hatred, and every time I looked in the mirror, I was just like, you are the worst. I hate you. I just despise you. And it's something that you can practice. So mirror work is really effective. All the affirmations and mirror work suggested by Louise Hay, where you look in the mirror and you say, I love you. You're perfect as you are. You're a perfect child of the universe. Meditation also works because it turns down the volume of all of this negativity, and it turns up the volume on the positive voice of the higher self. You are loved. You make a positive contribution. And also the evidence that you've got from your life. If you're a great painter, and everyone's applauded you and people are buying your paintings for millions, then I do make a valuable contribution to the world. So please remember, if you're sitting there and you feel like a victim and a martyr to your own thinking, you're really not. And it is kind of self-inflicted, I'm sorry. There is something that you can do about that. We have the tools, we have therapy, we have 12 steps, we have meditation, we have personal discipline, and the choice to say, do you know what? I'm going to stop criticizing myself today. I'm just not going to do it anymore. That has a lot of power. So if you're someone who says, oh, I just can't help it. I just can't help the way I think. It's just poor me. Like that self-pity thing doesn't fly, because you can do something about it. And the card is saying, today you have the strength to manage your mind. And because you're able to do that, you're able to manifest the world in the way that you want. And it is so apt that they've made this someone's head. I can't believe that they've done that and that it makes so much sense. Because the world is exactly what you think. If you enter the world and you know that you're sunny and happy and comfortable, and that life is going to provide you with light and warmth and cuddles and a beautiful place to put down roots, and you're going to experience wonders, then you will experience all of those things. You manifest your life the way it happens. If you happen to have a more complicated temperament, and it is negative and it is full of dread and fears and all of those things, then the world is going to oblige, and it's going to manifest those fears and those problems for you, so that the outside matches your inside. The world is a neutral space. It doesn't seem that way because you're like, well, it's physical. How can this be a neutral space? Whatever you think becomes reality. You experience the world the way you think it is. The best example I can think of is one of my relatives had their lenses in their eye replaced. And after the eye surgery, she was like, oh my goodness, the world, all of these colors, they look so different. And before that, everything, the lens itself had kind of had yellowed and become kind of orangey. And everything was through like an orange Instagram filter. And that's the way they saw the world. So that's an example of perceiving the world. But also there's this scientific law that they've discovered recently. An object like a glass changes its nature when it is being looked at. It changes shape, and the actual glass itself, the atoms in this glass, change as it is regarded. So if you see the world as an amazing place full of joy, then you give yourself the opportunity to have joyous experiences on planet Earth. If you think that, oh, everything's just going to get worse, I'm trapped, things are going to be horrible, then the world gives you the opportunity to be trapped and to have horrible experiences. It sounds overly simplistic, but it really isn't. And that's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and the happy experience happy things, and people who have difficult temperaments like myself, I am not a ball of sunshine. I wasn't born that way. I had to work at it. I have addiction. I have alcoholism. I'm controlling. I'm negative. I have all of these things that I'm aware of, and that's why my life didn't work for a long time. And the cards are saying that even if you do have a somewhat challenging temperament, and that's part of our soul mission, our journey, to overcome our temperament, to overcome our spiritual place in the universe so that we can progress and develop. It's not like you snap your fingers and overnight it's done. This takes weeks and months and years. The cards today are saying that you have the strength to achieve your soul mission by bending your thoughts to your will and taking the blindfold off and getting a clue and not being a martyr, a victim of your own thinking. Instead of these things floating around you and attacking you, you gather them up and you use them as resources. And then, because of the way you think, you manifest the kind of world that you want to live in. And if you're not in control of your thoughts, then the world is going to manifest in a way that you have no control over. So hooray, this is like the perfect reading for all the control freaks of the world. If you are happy and you determined to have a brilliant, wonderful, rich, prosperous, loving life, then take control of your thoughts and see the world as a place where all of those things happen. Focus on those, visualize them, make a vision board, say positive affirmations. My life is wonderful and miracles happen to me every day. Love comes to me effortlessly and easily. I am chased by good fortune. Say these positive affirmations and your head gets bigger and bigger and bigger and turns into the world that you live on, and it turns into your daily experience. It really is true. It sounds overly simplistic, but it really is true. We create our own lives. And that is the cruel and difficult thing about this planet, because it's not about blaming others, but when you see certain people who have the same terrible thing happen over and over and over and over and over again, and you, as an outsider, sometimes you can see it's because they say things or they think about things a certain way, and that's why it keeps happening. And the words that follow are like magic spell words, because what you think manifests. When you say things, that's even more powerful, because your words have power to manifest things in the real world, and then they happen. That's why spells work, because the words that you speak with meaning become reality. So make sure you allow your self to tap into the love and into your unique, wonderful, joyous, loving, creative, disciplined self. Realize that you are on a mission. You see exactly what you're doing and where you want to be going. And you create that world for yourself so that your life is what you make it. 8 and 8 is 16. And 21 is 37. 3 and 7 is 10. And 10 is 1 in numerology. 21 and 8 is 29. 29 and 8 is 37, yeah. So 1 is being the magician. It's being the pioneer. It's being the boss. It's being in charge. It's taking control. You are in control of the world as you experience it, and it all comes down to you. So saying, "Oh, poor me, I'm just such a casualty of life. Life has just been so cruel to me, and poor me, feel sorry for me." That's not going to cut it, because you have a part to play in what the world throws at you. And that's not about victim blaming. It's just saying that you can manifest more positive things than negative things. And none of us are perfect, so all of us have crappy things happen to us all the time. But if you have a fundamental belief that the world is good and loving and powerful, then you will fundamentally get that kind of world. Have an amazing day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my personal readings. To draw up your astrology chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, order a rectification with me. That's where I work out your time of birth. Once I have your chart drawn up, I can see what your life purpose is, what your vocational aptitudes are, how you can express yourself creatively, romance, where the best place is for you to live, what is destined for you in terms of strengths and weaknesses. And this reading is for today, but please take this into account for every day, because we manifest our reality every day of our lives. So have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Please hit subscribe and share the video online.